So a little background information, I was a junior. Now when this all went down, I was about 17 years old, but I literally remember it like it was yesterday because of how much of an impact it left on my family and how traumatic it was. My sisters and I all really had a great relationship. I was the youngest. My one sister, Millie, was 24 years old and she was the oldest. She was smart and super pretty, but for some reason had major self-confidence issues. I really don't know why, but you know. My other sister, Lisa, she was the definition of a blonde. Super pretty, no brains. Hate to say that about my sister, but it was true. Still is. I don't know what it was, but all their lives they felt like they had been pinned against each other. Like they acted that like life in general was a competition between both of them. I don't know why. That's how it's always been. They would always steal each other's clothes, makeup, shoes, anything they could. Like if a clothing article looked better on Millie, Lisa would steal it. And yeah, that's just how they were. Quick little interjection here. If my makeup looks weird, it's because I'm not putting it on my hairline because I don't want to have to wash my hair tonight. So summer's almost here and it seems like it might be time for Millie to move out. Lisa has another year until she has to move out, my parents said. Fast forward, it's time for Millie to get the hell out of my parents' house. So my dad hires some movers. No big deal, right? You know, he just hires movers like a normal person would do, right? Wrong. Not only did my dad get movers, but he got the best looking ones to do the job. He should have known probably not to do that considering he had a house full of 3 girls. But as we've learned being on this planet for a very long time, men don't think. To be honest, I should just blame my dad for this whole situation. Just kidding, I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, yeah, they were super hot, right? Like even my mom was like, well, this caused my sisters to go into a panic mode like little psychopaths. Like, I kid you not, both of them went upstairs, they got changed into some skimpy outfit, they both did their makeup in a span of like 10 minutes. The whole time my sisters spent more time hitting on these guys, especially this one, instead of helping move or anything like that. And they both wanted this one guy who was really hot, so it was just like a shit show. And for some reason, like desperate attention-seeking people, they spent that night crying, comparing why their lives were worse than each other's. I don't know why the hell they did this. I figured what I pretty much got out of this is if whoever's life was sadder meant that they could have the guy, who we're gonna call Adam. I don't know what the end result of that ended up being, but I thought it had been Lisa because I saw her going out with him the one day. And then I was really confused because a few days after he had came and picked up Millie. This had me very confused. It felt like I was on an episode of Sister Wives. Very, 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 very confusing. So eventually I go and decide to collect a little bit of information about what's going on. I decide to go and talk to my sisters individually. After talking to both of them, I found out that they both get 3 dates with this guy, and whoever he likes more can have him. That is like the epitome of being desperate. It was, I can't deal. I can't. Well, fast forward, summertime is over, school is about to start back up, and it seemed as if this year was going to be a good year for everybody. Then I kid you not, a day after school starts, my family and I find out that Millie is pregnant. This is why we can't have nice things. So she decides to keep it and she says, this baby's a blessing even though the father and I didn't work out. I'm like, okay girl, if that's what you call it, that's you. She said that she knew in her heart that this is what she wanted. So you know what? I tried to be happy for her. I was like, okay sis, you know, if that's what you want, that's what you want, period. That being said though, her and Adam were over and she had no plans of them getting back together or anything. Which is kind of understandable considering that, he was now screwing my sister Lisa. So eventually she says that she just wants to contact him and let him know that she's pregnant, and she wanted to let him know how the baby was doing. Because apparently she had been pregnant for a while, she just didn't tell anybody. But then, You'll never guess what happened. Literally, as soon as she is pulling out the phone to call him while our whole family is sitting at the table, she gets a call from him. At this point, we're all super confused on how he even knows in the first place. He was like, you need to get rid of that baby. This isn't fair to me. Like, I can't raise 2 kids. And we're all like, whoa, 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 whoa. First of all, how do you know about this? Second of all, what do you mean raise 2 kids? Well, then she tells him that she's not getting rid of it and she expects nothing from him. But then she also goes, what do you mean another kid? He said, yeah, your sister's pregnant too. Oh, yep. Lisa is pregnant too. Wow, my life should be like a soap opera at this point, literally. But then he also says Lisa's known that she's pregnant for 2 months. Like, she knew she was pregnant. So at this point, we're all pissed at Lisa for not telling us. We were all shook to the bone. Lisa starts to cry. She starts apologizing. Yes, Lisa is there while he's telling us this. Because we all look at Lisa like, what the fuck did he just say, bitch? Like, Maddie from Euphoria comes out of Millie. It was bad. That didn't really help the situation though. Millie did decide to get an abortion after that. She was like, fuck to the no. And Lisa was pretty much dead to her. Oh, also, Lisa and Adam were gonna get married. Yep. That was the plan. Millie and I don't really talk to Lisa as much anymore. After that happened, it was just like not a good situation. They fought about it for months. Like out of the blue, Lisa would call Millie, be like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, I'm so sorry. And then Lisa would be like, go off yourself, please, respectfully, thank you. Well, my mom was really the only one who talked to Lisa after that. But another thing, he ends up leaving Lisa and tries to hit on me. Yep, my 17-year-old self. And he ended up like getting infatuated with the situation, I feel like, of getting with my sisters. And like we had to get a restraining order against him because he would like stalk me and stuff. So yeah, but overall it pretty much ruined our family. I mean, the only good thing that really came out of it was my nephew Parker, and he'll sometimes be over my mom's house whenever Lisa isn't there, of course.
My friend often says that Italians are emotional and impulsive. I haven't done an impulsive thing in my life. Crazy things just happen to me, you know? I was just so unprepared for my chemistry exam, and all I did was set off the fire alarm. Next thing I know, a fire truck had crashed into our school auditorium. The principal was furious and searching for the culprit, and I, the culprit, found myself running away from the school as fast as I could. I rushed straight into my empty house and up to my room to find a boy sitting on my bed. He looked exactly like me. I'm talking height, hair color, lips, down to my very eyes. He was like a boy version of me. Suddenly, he ran up to me and hugged me. I pushed him away. Who are you and what are you doing here? Sorry, the front door was open and I was just so excited to meet my twin sister for the first time. Twin what? Falla finita. Was there no end to today's drama? The crazy events of the day ended with me finding out the greatest secret my parents had kept from me. I wasn't born into this world alone. I had a twin brother, and his name was Lucas. My parents had given him up for adoption and kept me. His millionaire father barely paid attention to him now. He was far too busy, and that led Lucas to seek out his real parents. After telling him what happened at school, he suggested something that really caught my interest. Why don't we switch places for a few days? You could enjoy my mansion and posh high school while I get to see what it's like to live with my real parents. And my Italian blood quickly did its thing, and before I knew what I was saying, I yelled, "Deal!" I didn't want to waste another second. I just wanted to experience a day at school without getting bullied. We went out and bought wigs, and then I was off to take over my twin brother's life and move into his mansion. I just went crazy the first day of the switch, eating everything I could see in the pantry and playing all of Lucas's amazing video games. No one was at home except for his many servants. I called Lucas to check in on him, and he sounded so happy with my parents. Mama's cooking is the best, and I had so much fun watching basketball with Papa today. How about you? I told him that I was doing just fine. I hope you'll really enjoy my life, sorella. After meeting his best friend Jeff, I was sure I would. There was just something about him that was so dreamy. He radiated pure confidence and charisma. charisma. Too bad I was here as a boy. There was nothing I could do but look. Or so I thought. Turns out Lucas and Jeff were much closer friends than I knew. One day, he just barged into my room without even knocking. And worse, he immediately jumped into my bed as if he owned it. "Wake up, princess. It's time for your morning tea." What did he just call me? He was grinning from ear to ear. And then it hit me. I was still in my girly pink pajamas. Could I just disappear right now? I immediately cleared my throat, and in a deeper voice I said, "I'm just man enough to wear pink." "Dude, I know, it's cool." He gave me a fist bump and a wink, and I responded in the most awkward way. Gosh, I was so bad at this. My crush on Jeff was interfering with my acting. He was so hilarious and attractive, it made my girly side come out. Once I almost giggled. How was I ever going to hide my secret with this gorgeous boy always hovering around me? Little did I know that it was about to get much worse. Jeff walked up to me one day and asked me if I was up for the date. I nearly fainted. Date? Yeah, with our girlfriends. Wait, a girl? What? Apparently there were things Lucas hadn't given me a heads up about. Like his girlfriend of 6 months? I called him after school to ask how he'd forgotten this minor detail. He answered the call, but none of my questions. He spoke in a squeaky voice and pretended to be me, Andrea, throughout. My parents were nearby, and he had to keep his act up. The pazzo. Next thing I knew, I was going on a couples trip with Lucas's girlfriend Danielle, Jeff, and his girlfriend Courtney. We were driving to a resort owned by Jeff's dad to chill there for the night. That car ride turned out to be one of the most difficult and awkward experiences of my life. Danielle, my girlfriend, was super into me. She was literally clinging onto me like a snake and was breathing down my neck the whole ride. "Oh, babe, I hadn't seen you for 23 hours, 16 minutes, and 10 seconds, and I was missing you like crazy." She tried to kiss me, but I turned my face away from her and said, "Wow, I bet you're good at math." "Oh my God, you're so funny." She was all over me, literally laughing at every word I said, and I just wanted to disappear between the car seats. I struck up a conversation with Courtney to avoid my own girlfriend, but I guess it was a bad idea because Danielle started crying hysterically. Oh my God, ladies. I met Jeff's eyes in the rearview mirror. I gave him a help me look, but he just grinned at me. "You're such a flirt, Courtney. Stop talking to my boyfriend." "What's your problem?" "My problem is your existence." Before they could kill each other, Jeff turned around to tell them to shut up. And then he suddenly swerved sharply to avoid an oncoming truck. The whole car spun out of control, and we all screamed, terrified. The car came to a halt on the hillside, and one of the wheels was stuck in a pothole. We jumped out and tried to push it out of the hole, but that wasn't going to happen, and we were miles away from the city. We were stranded in the middle of nowhere. I found an inn nearby that had decent ratings online. We began to walk there when Courtney and Jeff began to fight. It was her car that had been wrecked. I was tired of their bickering, so I moved away from them, but then Danielle caught up with me. "What have I done, Lucas? Am I not pretty enough? Don't you like my new hair?" Wait, what did her hair look like before? I tried my best to hide my annoyance and forced a sweet smile on my face. "You're the prettiest woman alive, mia bella, and you deserve everything. I love you." I almost threw up at my words. I hadn't expected that acting like Lucas was going to be this tough. As soon as we reached the inn, I rushed to the bathroom to take a breather. While looking at myself in the mirror, I was surprised to see Courtney behind me grinning. I turned to her. "What are you doing here?" She stepped closer to me and answered, "No, Lucas, what are you doing here? This bathroom is for females." Oh, shoot! Was there no end to this? I was about to rush out when she suddenly blocked my way. "We had such an amazing conversation in the car back there, Lucas. I love Jeff, but I don't think I've ever had as much fun with him." Wait, what? Before I knew it, Courtney grabbed my face and kissed me right on the lips. Holy cow, I was kissing a girl. At that moment, Danielle came in and saw us. There was a look of horror on her face as she screamed at the top of her lungs. She was ready to attack Courtney, but Jeff came in time to stop her. Danielle screamed at Jeff, "Your stupid girlfriend kissed my boyfriend!" Courtney started crying as she hugged Jeff. "Babe, I didn't do anything wrong. Lucas followed me in here and kissed me." You know what? done with you? We're over. Courtney just rolled her eyes. Fine, whatever. Jeff ignored her and turned to me with a furious look on his face, and my heart sank because I had betrayed him. The pretty messed up situation was interrupted when the innkeeper came in to tell us that she had prepared 2 rooms for us. At that moment, I wanted to hug her so bad for being a lifesaver. Thankfully, the woman was very old-fashioned. She wouldn't let teenagers bunk together under any circumstances, so Jeff and I had to share a room, and the crazy girlfriends were in another. But then I started sweating bullets when I realized something. Jeff and I were sharing a room? A bed? How was I ever going to get through this? And he's mad at me right now. I literally just kissed his cheating girlfriend. What was he going to do to me? My heart was racing when we finally went to our room. While heading to the bed, I tripped over something and fell down on the floor. Jeff immediately came to my rescue. He looked so worried as he helped me to my feet. I swear I was about to pass out because of how close our faces were to each other. Jeff offered to take a look at my foot and took off my sock. Nail paint on your toes? Nice. I gasped and looked down at my feet. My blue nail paint was still on my toes. I couldn't think of a single excuse that would work. Before I could betray my secret, I yanked my foot away and changed the topic instead. I'm sorry about what happened earlier, dude. I know you're mad at me. Are you going to beat me up? Suddenly, he burst out laughing. Why would I beat up a girl? And in this case, Luca's twin sister. I froze in surprise. But how did you know? Jeff said he'd figured it out easily. I acted nothing like Lucas and remembered none of his plans. Lucas had mentioned to Jeff that he had a twin sister, so he put 2 and 2 together. Besides, Lucas's eyes aren't this beautiful, and I've never felt attracted to that idiot's smile. My whole face was red now. You're attracted to me? He just smiled at me and continued to bandage my foot. When he was done, he got up and said, wildly attracted. I kid you not, I nearly fainted. I finally opened up and told him the whole truth. I was a girl. Oh, it felt so good to say that out loud. Jeff listened to me patiently as I told him everything. My life at home and at school. He took my hand. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever met, Andrea. Inside and out. Not to mention funny, too. You don't deserve to be bullied and treated like that. Oh God, he was so sweet. How could Courtney cheat on a boy like him? I blushed harder when Jeff started leaning closer and closer. Before our lips could finally touch, Danielle, my girlfriend, suddenly barged in. Jeff immediately jumped out of the bed and pretended to be doing push-ups on the floor. She said, Babe, I couldn't sleep. That witch Courtney was snoring like a pig. I said, how did you get in here? Oh, the innkeeper was sleeping, so I took the duplicate key from the reception. Ugh, she was so annoying. I forgive you for kissing Courtney, by the way. Now let's go to sleep. She climbed onto the bed and told Jeff to sleep on the mattress instead. Jeff said, yeah, sure, while grinning at me. He was really enjoying my misery. I was forced to cuddle Danielle to sleep just to stop her from making out with me. Babe, can you sing me my favorite lullaby? I was panicking now. I started singing some random nursery rhyme when Jeff came to the rescue again. In case you guys have forgotten, I'm also here. Can I have some peace? After a few more minutes of pestering me, Danielle finally fell asleep. I carefully untangled myself from her and rolled to the edge of the bed. I whispered down to Jeff, Are you still up? He whispered back, How can I sleep when I can't stop thinking about you? Oh, my heart. Go to sleep already. We need to have enough energy to deal with these crazy girls tomorrow. Sure, but I need a goodnight kiss. I rolled my eyes as I grinned in the dark. Fine, carino. I reached down to him, intending to give him a kiss on the cheek, but to my surprise, he aimed for my lips instead. My heart almost jumped out of my chest when Danielle started snoring. Jeff and I were laughing soundlessly till our stomachs hurt. It was 5 a.m. when Jeff convinced me to sneak out and leave the 2 crazy girls behind. He paid for the rooms and we waited for help.